Hello you fine ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing? I hope your day is going well. Today we have yet another loadout for Star Wars Battlefront, but before we get into it, I would really like to apologize. There has not been a video up on the channel in quite a while. Some things changed with my setup which made it very difficult to get videos made and published. So I've just been trying to sort some things out, and hopefully videos will be coming up at an increased rate now. I'm not sure they're still going to be back to the normal schedule for a while, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm not sure if there's going to be 3 videos a week like that. We'll just have to see, but I will do my best to make sure we get back to the normal schedule as soon as possible. So without further ado, let's get into today's loadout, which is the Batman loadout. Now this was once again suggested by a member of our community, so thank you very much for that. Don't forget, if you have any loadout ideas that you would like me to try out, please put it in the comments down below. So let's get on with today's loadout. This uses the smoke grenade, the flash grenade, and for the charge card, the scan pulse. Honestly, these are all quite fitting to Batman, as they are definitely gadgets that Batman would most likely have on hand. For the blaster, we are definitely using the X8 Night Sniper, which I guess could be considered as one of Batman's gadgets, as it grants thermal vision. Finally, for the trait, we are using the Scout trait, seeing as stealth is certainly one of Batman's biggest allies, and the Scout trait can offer a lot of concealment if used right. So let's get into how this loadout plays overall, and some tips and tricks so that this loadout can be used to its fullest potential. Now, I made a video a while ago about the X8 Night Sniper and whether it needed a buff or not, as it is very weak. Now, I believe it has undergone a slight buff, though I'm not certain whether it was a buff to damage or fire rate or something else. However, I can say that it definitely does play a lot better than it did when it was first released. Although it's better than it was before, it still doesn't compare to other similar blasters like the DL44 or DL18, though it does have a unique perk of having a thermal scope, and if you can take advantage of that, this blaster can certainly hold up in its own way. Now, to take full advantage of that thermal sight, you need something like a smoke grenade, and this loadout has that. The X8 Night Sniper paired with the smoke grenade is actually a very good combination, allowing you to see enemies even though you are concealed from them. However, due to the X8 Night Sniper's slower fire rate, it does take some accuracy to use it effectively. But if you use the blaster for a little while, you should be able to use it pretty well. Now on to the next star card, which is the flash grenade. Now, this star card is not a favorite of mine, and that is because it has a tendency to blind me whenever I use it. Therefore, when you do use the flash grenade, though it can be really useful when blinding enemies, it must be thrown quite far away if you are not to be blinded from it. So the fact that it must be thrown from a range definitely decreases the effectiveness of this star card, though I must admit that when it is used correctly, it can provide the player with an edge over the opposition. For the charge card, the scan pulse is a really great overall ability, especially on close quarter maps and environments where your vision might be slightly impaired by things like darkness or snow. Being able to see enemies all around you is really beneficial, and those benefits are perhaps increased when using this loadout, as it can help you determine whether or not to throw a smoke bomb or a flash grenade in a certain choke point or location on the map, depending on the number of enemies or allies in the area. Now, this loadout utilizes the Scout trait, which of course is a very handy trait when playing a build which is more focused on a more lone wolf style of gameplay, as the trait really benefits from flanking the enemy stealthily. However, this loadout is more based on teamwork, as having a squad of enemies with you behind that smoke grenade is really going to help out, not to mention the X8 Night Sniper can only handle a few opponents at a time. However, despite this, the Scout trait makes a lot of sense for Batman and does actually benefit this loadout. The smoke grenade and even the flash grenade grant the player with quite a bit of concealment, and any extra stealth helps out. Being able to move to and from a cloud of smoke without showing up on the minimap, or being able to fire from within one and remain undetected, is extremely beneficial on the battlefield. Also, at rank 3 of the Scout trait, your blaster's cooldown resets with each kill, and that is certainly helpful when using the X8 Night Sniper, which really cannot handle that many enemies at a time because it does heat up a little quickly. Now in this clip right here, I am using the Dioxis grenade instead of the flash grenade because I did want to try it out. It is kind of still something Batman might have, and it is actually really good for zoning, especially on this map right here in this certain building where you're really just trying to keep the enemies out and at bay. Having that tool to, you know, zone some doors and some areas of the map is really helpful. So that's where the Dioxis grenade can be really helpful, but of course this loadout does not use that. It uses the flash grenade instead, which is still really good. Now let's get into some tips and tricks for using this loadout. Starting off with the blaster, the Night Sniper is not at all suited to close range, as the relatively low damage and slow fire rate make it very difficult to combat an enemy close up, so definitely don't go into close range battles with this loadout. Medium range is definitely the preferred range with this blaster, but be sure that you do have some cover or the concealment of the smoke to aid you in the firefight. As I said before, this loadout is more suited to a team-oriented style of gameplay, so make sure you know where your teammates are at all times and don't stray too far unless you're going to be really stealthy and you have the stealth trait ranked up all the way. Finally, make sure you use your smoke grenade to its fullest potential. Using it to block off a choke point or conceal a vantage point for you are probably the best uses for it, as you will have a good line of sight on the enemy while you remain completely concealed. So that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, I'm really sorry that there has been a lacking of videos uploaded to the channel lately, but I will try and get back on course as soon as possible. So thank you all very much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.